What about you guys? How's it going? Hope you're all keeping well today. Hope everything is good where you are. Sorry for the delay on this video. There's been a lot of hustle and bustle within the Leach family household as of late. We've been getting new floors and carpets and all those different things down, so it's been pretty manic. So I apologize once again that this has been a bit of a delay, but I'm sure you're all excited. I'm sure you've all been heavily waiting for this video, so let's just continue on and just keep talking then, shall we? So we're continuing on with the 5 reasons why you should use a certain editing software. And before, I talked about 2 photo editors, Photoshop and Lightroom, 2 very good softwares that are very highly regarded. But today I wanted to come away from photo editing and talk more about a video editor, and especially this software in particular, because it's only within the last sort of couple of years that it's really taken the internet by storm. And it's a little bit of kit that was made by Blackmagic, who are very well known within the video market with their high-end video cameras, very well known on that front. So yes, we're talking about none other than DaVinci Resolve. You've probably heard of this software from different YouTubers that are really into their editing, that they've been using DaVinci Resolve quite a fair bit. And I've been using DaVinci Resolve for the past, year and a half now, I would say. And although I don't use all of it, some of the bits that I do use really help me on the video editing. So today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you should use DaVinci Resolve. So let's get going. Reason number 1, it's for the editor that's wanting something more. So when I was starting off with the Light Leach channel, I was using iMovie because I don't really do an awful lot of editing. I don't really go very heavily into it, so iMovie was more than enough for me at the time. It was basic, it gave me what I wanted, it gave me a final product, that was it. However, as time moved on and I started to get a bit more into video and start understanding a lot of the different things that are involved, then I felt that iMovie really wasn't the software for me. I had to branch off into something more. Now, of course, whenever I went and shopped around at different softwares out there, you were getting your Premiere Pro, your Final Cut Pro, those big softwares that are so highly regarded, but I don't have the funds to pay for that sort of software, to which one of the reasons that we're talking about why we go for the DaVinci Resolve will be talked about later on in the list, so do hang fire for that. Until I came across DaVinci Resolve and downloaded it, gave it a try, and I've been here ever since. Now, it did take me a couple of goes. I was quite daunted at first because there was so much that I could do, but there's so many different edit videos out there that give you like lessons on how to use it, and once you really get the hang of it, once you sort of find a system, much like anything, once you find a system within a software that works the best for you, then it starts to become a lot more user friendly. So if you are looking something that is more than what the basic editor, whether it's iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, I'm not too sure if Windows Movie Maker is actually still around or anything like that on Windows these days, but if it is, yeah, DaVinci Resolve is going to give you a way load more than what those softwares are going to give you. Reason number 2, color grading. DaVinci Resolve has been really highly regarded for their color processing. A lot of videographers say it's probably one of the best, and it is actually very user friendly when it comes to playing about with color grading. Now, I've only been doing this for quite a short time, really understanding all about color grading, but it's actually really good fun. And when you start playing about with, you either have the wheels or the little bars that you can muck around with on the software, then it starts to become real fun and you start to see the differences that it can make to your video. It also brings in things like waveforms, vector scopes, so it helps you understand how your exposure looking, how's your colors looking. So when you're playing about with color grading, this is where the fun really starts to come in, and you can create what's known as nodes, where you have maybe one node is saying, it's almost like layers in Photoshop. So you have like a certain layer that does a certain thing. Well, node is essentially that. So one node could be all about saturation, the other node could be about your luminance, how bright or how dark your image is. So you have all this to play about with. So like I say, it's quite daunting at first, but once you really get into it and start having to play and start getting a feel for how you want to use the software, that it does actually become really good fun. And alongside with the color grading, you also get to play about with different LUTs too. So different LUTs for different cameras, you can create your own. So that way it can give you a sort of style and effect for your video. Reason number 3, sound editing. This is what really stood out to me the most with DaVinci Resolve. So again, in my earlier videos, if I really wanted to clean up my audio, I had to take my audio, open it up in GarageBand, do all my EQs and whatnot and that, bring it into iMovie, do my drag and drop, and iMovie's drag and drop is not the best. Whereas in DaVinci Resolve, there is a section that is truly dedicated to sound editing. So playing about with your levels, playing about with your EQ, compressors, whatever you want. You can just play about with all these different things on here. And this is what I really want. So instead of you having to use multiple softwares altogether, you get it all here. Because your audio levels aren't always perfect, and it is always good to help bring out the most that you can in your audio. So for me, I love playing about with the EQs. I love adding in a little bit of compression here and there to my audio, just to clean it up a little bit. Not do too much, just clean it up just that little bit. And I play about with my levels to balance out how the music is sounding, balance out how the audio is sounding. Reason number 4, fusion and other editing effects. So much like any other editing software, you of course get things like you can add in titles, you can add in effects to your videos where you can just drag and drop and place them anywhere onto your video timeline or anything like that. You can make them bigger, smaller, do pannings, do transitions and all. Sort of all the standards that you would get in any sort of editing software. Now compared to working with iMovie, it's a little bit more sophisticated, but it's not all that bad. And it's a little bit more of a fine tune. So like I said before, iMovie's drag and drop isn't the best, whereas DaVinci Resolve is a lot more fine tuned. I can get into the just that, millisecond or anything like that so that I make sure everything is all synced up nicely. But another reason why videographers love DaVinci Resolve, and I'll be brutally honest with you, I don't use it myself yet, but this is the fusion section. So what fusion is all about is if you're somebody that likes to add in a lot of really mad things like titles coming out and in and out of the screen. If you have like a green screen for your videos and you want to add anything, take it away, put stuff in. It's for really being creative and start doing a lot of crazy things. So if you're somebody that really likes to make their video a lot more wacky, then the fusion part of DaVinci Resolve is the one for you. It certainly does look like good fun. Go onto YouTube, check out any people that are playing about with this section and learn for yourself about how you can get working around this. And when you put all these things together, it's amazing that for reason number 5, the software is free. Yeah, that's right. This really high-end, this really sophisticated video editing software that gives you color grading, sound editing, effects, all those different things is free of charge. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a paid version that Blackmagic offer. It gives you a lot more options and a lot more things that you can do within the software. It's like 239 quid, I think, at the minute. So it just gives you a much more broader scope for editing. But if you're somebody like me that only wants maybe the bare bones and just little things here and there, then the free edition is more than enough. I've had DaVinci Resolve from the 15th edition and you get constant updates to it. It's not one of those, oh, it's just free for this version. No, you still get updates. And I mean, right now I'm sitting on about, what, 16.2? So you're constantly getting updates from Blackmagic on the software, which is absolutely incredible. And it's exactly why a lot of people have been talking about DaVinci Resolve over the past couple of years, is because it is completely free of charge. You get all these different things that we have talked about and way more for nothing. Like, where did Blackmagic get their turnover and all that? But it's certainly really good. So like I say, if you're somebody that's wanting a lot more with their video editing, want to do things like color grading and sound editing, maybe play about with different effects as well, but don't really have the sort of budget for Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, then DaVinci Resolve is the one for you. It is quite daunting at first. It took me a couple of tries to really get into it, but once I found a system that worked for me, I haven't looked back. It is really good. So what video editing software do you use? How do you find it? Do you think it's really good? Or have you been sitting on the fence about downloading DaVinci Resolve? Well, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know some of your thoughts. And if there's anything that you would like to see in this series talked about, again, just let me know down below and I'll try my best to get adding it into this series and having a little play about. And while you're there, don't be afraid to like, share, subscribe, and also hit that wee bell icon so that you can stay up to date with future videos as well. Again, I apologize if this video was a little bit late, but we'll get back much more into a regular routine. Well, until then guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.